What's going on, everyone? Do you have a 2018 Nissan Qashqai with a 2 litre 16 valve engine? Well, we're carrying out a service today, so stay tuned if you want to know how to do it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam from Green Auto Services, and as the intro suggested, we are doing a service on a 2018 Nissan Qashqai. Now this is the 2 litre 16 valve petrol engine that we're actually going to be doing a full service. So we are going to dive straight into it, and the first thing we're going to do is get the oil changed out. Okay, so here we are underneath the bonnet in the engine bay. Now, the first thing you want to do is make sure your car has been run up to temperature. You want to make sure the oil is nice and hot so that when we drain everything, we're going to get as much of the potential old contaminated oil as possible before we refill it with fresh. So once you've got the car up to temperature and you want to go into the engine bay, the first thing you want to do is pull your dipstick out. Now it's a bright yellow handle, very easy to see. Just pop it out and just leave it there, or take it out completely. And then the other thing is to take off the oil cap, which is located just to the center right hand side of the engine bay. Just pop it off, put it to one side. I normally put it up on the scuttle panel, and then that allows any air to go into the engine so you don't create a vacuum. It just allows more potential oil to drain out so we can get as much out as possible before putting fresh in. So now that's done, let me get the vehicle in the air and show you what you have to contend with next to get to the drain bolt. Okay, so here we are with the vehicle in the air. Now, the first thing you're going to have to tackle with is the giant plastic under tray that you do need to remove. They are a little bit fiddly. First of all, you've got a few 10mm bolts that run across the front, but they're the easy bit. You've actually got lots of plastic retaining clips throughout the entire circumference of the under tray, and you do have to remove all of them before you remove that, because that is where we're going to access not only the drain plug, but it is also the best access for the oil filter, which we're going to change out. So I'm now going to do that off camera, and then I'll bring you back once it's all off. Okay then, so after various clips holding it in, and you'll also find that there is actually 1 and 2 Phillips screwdrivers, or Phillips screws even, just holding that all in place. That will all come down and give you a lot of access to the underside of the engine. So the first thing we're going to do is change out the oil filter. As you can see just here is the blue spin-on metal oil filter. So that shouldn't be on there too tight. It is ever so slightly seeping oil from the seal, and that will normally just happen. Don't be too alarmed if yours has done the same thing. As long as it's not excessively dripping all over the place, you should be absolutely fine. So we're going to be taking that off in 2 seconds, and then just at the back side of the engine, here is your drain sump plug right there, which we will be removing to get all of the old contaminated oil out. So first things first, let's get back round to the front, let's get the oil filter off, and then we'll get that replaced, then we'll get the oil drained out of the back. Okay, so to get the oil filter off here, I've actually got myself a set of oil filter wrenches. Now, what this is designed to do, as you rotate it one way, the arms open up and then they eventually tighten, and that's what grips on to the oil filter to allow you to then start undoing it. And then once you've cracked it off and got it going, you can then just take it off by hand. There we are, and that is one very small oil filter removed. Okay, so once you've taken the oil filter out and you've just let the oil stop draining, there will be a bit of oil coming out of there, so do be careful because it's going to be hot. The next thing you want to do is unbox your oil filter and just compare it to the old one. Now, I do know that this is absolutely fine, it is spot on. The only thing you have to be aware about is the rubber seal has to be pre-lubricated before you put it in. You've probably got this from most of my other videos, but again, if you were to put a dry seal on there, it's just going to grip it and potentially tear the seal, and it's just not going to work, and you're going to have oil leaking everywhere. So do yourself a favour, just put a little bit of fresh oil on the seal and then just spin it on. Okay, there we are, and that is now back in. Now, you can just do it up by hand initially. Usually these oil filters are approximately 25 Newton meters to tighten up. You can do it by hand, you just want to make sure it's nice and snug, and then you just want to nip it up. It doesn't have to be too tight at all, but by all means do refer to the vehicle's manufacturer's specifications to make sure you get it right. Once that's now in, we can now clean down any old residue of oil, and now we can get to the sump plug to get everything else drained out. Okay, so we're now ready to drain the oil out of the bottom of the engine. So here is your sump plug bolts. It is a 14mm. Be careful, all the hot oil will come out very quickly, and there will be a metal washer that comes out with it. What I like to do is just crack it off first to get it loose. You might get a little bit of a drip, then put your oil drainer or receptacle, whatever you're using to catch the oil, underneath it. And then by hand, just slowly take it out and then let it all out. Okay, so the majority of the oil is now out of the engine. As you can see, there is quite a slow drip coming from the sump, so that's absolutely fine. You can leave it for as long as you like, it's absolutely fine. It's not really going to get any better than that, truly, and you're not going to get everything out of the engine. So if you wanted to put the sump plug back in, that would be sufficient enough. Speaking of the sump plug, so that is the 14mm sump plug there, and it does actually have this crushable copper washer on the bottom of it. There we are. Now you will need to get a new one for this. Now the copper washer actually does come slightly thicker than that because it is designed to crush. When you do fit it, there is actually a notch or cutout in the bottom section of it. Basically the bottom half of the crushable washer goes on first, and then once you get it on there, you might just have to twist it on there. It will protrude slightly higher, and then when you screw it in and then torque it down, that will actually crush the washer and create a perfect seal. So I'll get a new one on and then get this one back in there, and I believe the tightening torque for these are around 40 Newton meters. But if I am wrong, you'll probably see just popping up on the screen now the correct Newton meters that it should be. Okay, there we are, and we are all done. So once the sump plug is back in and torqued up and you have the new oil filter in, we now need to get the vehicle down and get the engine filled with oil. But first we are going to put that large plastic under tray back on. So on one more quick note, I'm just in the process of putting the under tray back on. As you may have recalled earlier, they're held in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10mm bolts at the front, and then various of these little clips. Now these clips are quite common, particularly on the Nissans. Basically to get them out, as you can see here, this center section is designed to pop outwards from its base. Once it pops outwards, it actually allows these 4 feet or prongs, if you will, to actually push themselves in so you can pull the whole thing out. And then when it comes to installing, you just want to pop the feet and the base back into its hole, and then you literally just want to push on the centerpiece to make it go flush, and that will spread the legs out and hold it into place. They can be a bit tight, do be careful. That's why they've got these small little gaps. You kind of just want to very gently work it out from the outside until it's protruded outwards, so then you can bring it out. Do be careful, they are plastic, they can be quite hard, and sometimes they will break, but fortunately you can pick these up quite easily. So there we are. Good luck, I'm sure you won't break too many. Okay, so here we are with the vehicle back down on the floor. So to confirm, we've drained the oil, we've got a new oil filter in, we've got the sump plug back in with a new crushable washer. So first thing to do, make sure you get your dipstick and put it back down. That's just hiding behind the oil I'm holding here. So, for this particular vehicle, according to the manufacturer, it requires 5W30 fully synthetic oil, which is exactly what I've got here. Now, being fairly new to Australia, I'm still learning my way around the brands. I've been highly recommended that Penrite engine oil is one of the better brands out there, which was highly recommended. So today we are using Penrite 5W30, which is specific for petrol engines. Now this engine takes 3.8 litres, so we're going to put in 3.8 as recommended. We are going to get the oil cap back on, turn the engine on, get it circulating around the engine, and then recheck the oil level until it's on maximum. Okay, so I've just gone ahead and put 3.8 litres of engine oil into the engine. I'm now going to put the filler cap back on. And the dipstick is already back down, so you just want to now run the engine for about maybe 30 seconds to a minute, really give the engine a chance to circulate the oil around everything. The only thing to watch out for though, on your instrument cluster you will have a picture of a oil can. Just make sure that that goes off, which should go off in about 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, so I've just had the engine running for about 30 seconds to a minute, so now I just need to check the oil level. So grab your dipstick, pop it back out. First of all, you want to give the dipstick a good clean. Now on this particular one, you can probably see, I hope you can get focused. There we go. So that represents your minimum and your maximum mark. And then once you've dipped it in the oil, you want to make sure the oil level is bang on this top mark. That represents the maximum mark. Okay, it's going to be difficult to get you focused. You're going to have to take my word for it. That is pretty much bang on maximum. It's just shy of the top hole there. Oh, there we go. You can probably just see that. There we are. So actually what I'm going to do is probably just put a drop more oil in that to get it bang on maximum. But other than that, I am more than happy with that. So I'm going to get that done now. So the next one is to move on to the air filter. Okay, so now we've done the oil change, we're moving on to the next maintenance item, which is the air filter. Now, as the name suggests, it's the filter that filters all the air that's coming into the engine. So I'll show you the location. If you could just come straight down here. The air filter is actually located in a plastic housing towards the back of the engine on the right-hand side. Well, actually, technically the left-hand side, so the passenger side. Now, don't be too discouraged. This whole section actually comes off as one piece. You have a retaining clip down the side here, which just unhooks. You have a plastic mount that goes into a rubber grommet that just pulls upwards. And then this whole unit just slides straight upwards, and then you can move it out the way. And as you can see in here, we have now accessed the air filter. Now that we've actually removed this plastic part, we can actually now remove the last bit of the housing. There is just one metal clip to the right, one metal clip to the left, and that allows the housing to fall forward, and then the air filter just pops forward and lifts straight out. And there we are. That is your air filter. Make a mental note of the direction that this came out. Compare it to the new one, but actually, as we took it out, there is a tab up here, which I'm sure is there for a specific reason, but I just use it as a marker so I know which way the old air filter came out, and then I know which way the new air filter has to go back in. So, let's do that now. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is open up your air filter and just compare it with the other one. Now, This one I've actually got from a local supplier, Napa. They seem to be quite a big distribution company for the majority of makes and models and general parts and accessories that you're going to need for your vehicle. So once you have taken your air filter out, make sure to take out the plastic cellophane case as well. I have seen a couple of people leave them on and install them, and then they question why they have running issues when air can't get into the engine. So just pop that to one side for now. So remember, the way the old air filter came out, we had this locating tab at the top. So you just want to install it in the reverse order, and it will just pop back in there nice and easy. And remember to push back 1 clip and 2 clip. And then with the large plastic panel you took off earlier, now this is where you have to be a little bit careful. There's actually a couple of guides which actually locate perfectly to enclose the air filter housing. So just make sure you get that started. There we are, and then the whole thing will just slide down into place. There we go. Remember just to push this front grommet into the mount, and then that side clip should pop into place. There we go. There we are. And that is your air filter all done. Okay, so now we're getting to the end of the service. The next maintenance item that can be done is the cabin filter. Now that filters all the air coming into the vehicle from outside. Now this is a little bit awkward. It is located in a small compartment underneath the passenger front wheel well. So I'm going to turn you around now. I'm going to shed as much light on the situation as possible and show you exactly where it is, but fortunately it's not that bad to get out. So let me turn you around and show you what it's all about. Okay, so down here in the passenger front footwell, I'm going to take you under here, and here we are. Now this is going to be very difficult to see, and I hope you can hear me as well. Located just up here in front of my finger is actually the cover to the cabin filter itself. Now at the top there is actually a plastic hook that you can get your finger in, and the whole thing just pulls straight off. Okay, there we are. That's the cover off. There is nothing holding it in place except for just a clip at the bottom and a clip at the top, and it just all pushes into place. And as you can see now, you can just see the white back half of the cabin filter, and that will just pull straight out. Okay, there we are. So with a little bit of fiddling about, that is your cabin filter. Now do make a note of the way it was orientated, and actually the way I've just pulled that out is actually been fitted incorrectly. This arrow here actually dictates the travel of air, so air should be going through that way and coming out that way. But as you can see, there is a lot of debris on the side which should be filtering there and coming out this way. And it should be the other way around according to that arrow. So in this case, 9 times out of 10 the air will flow towards the inside of the cabin. So this time round we will be fitting it like that, with the arrow now, as you can see, pointing towards the cabin. So let's get the new one out, compare it, make sure we fit it with the arrow in the right direction. Okay, so now you've got the cabin filter out, you want to go ahead and compare it with the new one. Now the new one I've got is a brand called Ryco, and again from what I've been informed, it is right up there with one of the excellent brands along with Penrite Oil that we discussed earlier. So the very important thing that we just discussed, as expected, on the top or the side of the cabin filter you do have an arrow, so that is for the direction of airflow. So because the one I've just taken out was fitted incorrectly, we're going to make sure that this is fitted correctly. So as we're orientated with the vehicle, the cabin filter is going to go in this way round, so the arrow is pointing towards the cabin. Okay, so air will be filtered this side, all the dirt will get captured, and all the clean air will come out this side into the cabin. So it's a bit of a squeeze down there. I don't know if you'll be able to come and join me, but I'm going to get this pushed in right now. Okay, here we go. So again, you're going to have to take my word for it. It is a bit of a squeeze. I couldn't bring the camera in with me. There is actually one kind of rogue wire hanging around here. Just want to be careful of that you don't accidentally break it at all, but there's enough flexibility in it to get past it. It is a bit of a squeeze putting the new filter in, because actually the entrance to the housing is smaller than the size of the filter when it gets into the actual housing itself, but it should go in absolutely fine. When it sits, it will be nice and flush, and then you just want to pop the cover back on, and then once you push the cover back on, that is your cabin filter all fitted. So we've done an oil change, we've done the air filter change, we've done the cabin filter change. Now with these vehicles, they actually don't have a maintenance fuel filter. That is all built into the tank, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's a very, very straightforward service. Now unfortunately today, the vehicle is not due for renewable spark plugs. I will make sure I make that for another video, plus it is a little bit more in depth. Other than that, the service is very straightforward, and you can definitely do it yourself. Now, the last thing we need to do is actually reset the service light. Now, the really good news is you do not need a scan tool for this. You can do it all through the steering wheel buttons. So I'm going to turn you around and show you exactly what you need to do. So first of all, what you want to do is turn the ignition on. You can actually have the engine running as well. And as you can see, when the vehicle is actually due, you'll get a message come up saying maintenance oil change, and in this case maintenance tyre. So what you want to do, you want to go down to your buttons on the left hand side of the steering wheel. You actually want to scroll through left and right until you come to settings. Click OK on the steering wheel, and in the list you want to go down to maintenance. Click OK. Then straight away it will already be on service. Click OK on the service, and then you want to go down to reset, press OK. It's just double checking that you want to reset, so go up to yes, click OK, and the service has now been reset. You can come back out of that menu just using the backup arrow there, and then you can actually go down to tyre, which is also due for the service. This is basically just to tell you that it's time to inspect your tyres. You may need some tyres, or may need to even just adjust your tyre pressures. In this case, I have already done that with the routine maintenance check. So I've gone down to reset, press OK, then go up to yes, press OK, and that is now reset. So from here onwards, you can now back out of the menu, turn the ignition off, and to make sure that that has been reset successfully, go ahead and start the vehicle. And then as long as you've done everything correctly, you'll no longer get your maintenance service light and your tyre light, depending on which one's illuminated. So that is absolutely fine. We are now all done. That's all the filters to be changed that we're going to do today. The spark plugs will be done on a later date, and that is how you carry out the reset to the service light. Okay, and there we have it. We are all done for the day, guys. So I hope this video has helped. So just to confirm, we've done an oil change, air filter change, cabin filter change, and shown you how to reset the service light. I will do another video on the spark plugs. They just weren't due for today. So on that note, thank you ever so much for watching and joining the channel. If you haven't already, please don't hesitate to like, drop us a comment, more importantly, subscribe. There is plenty more videos coming down the line that I'm sure you'll be able to benefit from. So on that note, thank you ever so much again. I am Adam from Green Auto Services, and we'll see you guys in the next video.